Oh, hi. Hello. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How are you doing today? I am doing great. It is a beautiful, gray, overcast, cloudy ass day today, and it is my favorite kind of day. It's just gorgeous out there. You can't see anything, and it is just gray and foggy, and well, a little bit foggy, not too foggy, and just fabulous. It's my favorite kind of weather. It really is. Uh, and I know that wherever you are, you're probably in the middle of a horrible, nightmarish, once in a century blizzard, but I'm not. It's quite nice here. It's 50 degrees outside. It's 50 degrees higher where I am sitting right now than in like Michigan. And I think that's delightful. It makes me feel good to be right where I am, exactly where I want to be, perfect and comfortable and happy. And if you live in Michigan, well, don't. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's lovely. Uh, Hi, how's it going? So today is the 31st of January. Very sad. Today is the final, last day of Christmas. Everyone knows that. We have Grumble, the Christmas Grumble, gnome back here. The Today is January 31st, which means that it's the last day of Christmas in America. It's very sad, but I will put away the decorations. I will get rid of Grumble, the Christmas gnome, and put him back in the basement where he lives. What, like 9 months out of the year? He stays down there underground. 9 months underground, and then 3 months out. Yeah, that sounds about right. Um, so yeah, that is what I'm going to do after stream today. I will put the final couple of Christmas decorations away. I put most of them away, but and then we won't see this wonderful border unless I get a new one for next
Yay,
Christmas.
Christmas.
Christmas, yeah, it's so great, but it's over now, and you have to put all your stuff away. Sorry, that's just how America works. So yeah, what the hell am I doing here? Oh yeah, I stream politics. So what we're gonna do today? I've got one real big thing. I wrote up a whole rant, and I got a whole list of things, and I got a video to show about why the Democrats suck. You know it, I know it. Why do they suck? So we'll talk about that. I'll show you some a video that I started thinking about it. I started theorizing it. I started putting together ideas and stuff like that. And then I remembered a video, very viral video that I can show you, and it's going to help you understand why they suck so much. It's a form of misinformation, I think, for the Dems in charge. You don't get misinformed by it, but they do. So that's what we'll talk about. And then, as noticed in the title, more Epstein drops happened, and 4chan is in the Epstein files. The notorious hacker known as 4chan is in the Epstein files, and we'll talk about that later because it's exactly what I always knew it was. And then we'll talk about the online Nazism and all that jazz, all that horse shit. So, and then if I feel like it, maybe I'll scarf down a donut and we'll play some more Enfield. Maybe not. Depends if I feel like it or not. That's what I was going to do with my afternoon anyway. So that is the plan for today. So hop in the chat. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Come on over to the Discord, and you can share links and stuff like that. It's very fun. Unless you can't spell Discord, which I can't most days. So yeah, hop into the Discord, share links, share funny photos, and let's get started. Let's get going. What is the starting point? Where are we starting? Okay, here we go. Let's start right there. That's Hakeem Jeffries. He's in charge of the House Democrats, and he's saying very tough things. Let's hear what tough things he has to say.
And lawless agents who are brutalizing everyday Americans and law-abiding immigrant families, targeting them violently in violation of the law, should be investigated and prosecuted independently of the Department of Justice. We cannot trust the Department of Justice. They're an illegitimate organization right now under the leadership of Pam Bondi and the direction of Donald Trump. And so, if anything, the events of today reinforce, as it relates to the Department of Justice targeting journalists and part of the free and fair press, that the Department of Justice cannot be trusted to freely and fairly work through the criminal justice system.
Now, all of that is actually correct. Waldo said that a year ago. Waldo predicted it many years ago. Of course I did. The further you are on the left, the further forward you look, honestly. And the Dems don't do that. That guy is saying the things that I said a year ago and predicted 2 years ago. He's 2 years behind us. So that's the time frame we have to work with. 2 years from now, he will be ready to prosecute ICE violations that happen today. They are on a 2-year time gap. Now, how did they get that way? Are they stupid? Maybe. I don't know. The Democrat leadership sucks. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. They always seem to be fighting the wrong fight. Useless virtue signaling toward unimportant causes while not even seeing the deadly important ones that are right in front of their face. They ignore easy political wins against their opponents in the name of keeping decorum, while white nationalists are destroying the rule of law. We have to respect our Republican colleagues, even though they're trying their damnedest to harm innocent people. The Dems have to keep up gentlemen's agreements with Nazis. And the old joke of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. It would be an easy time to be a Democrat right now. The Republicans are very bad. They're very awful. They're horrible. Everybody hates them. Nobody likes them. They should go eat some worms. You know, and they smell bad. They look bad. Everything they're doing on TV is a crime. And the president is obviously an Alzheimer's-ridden moron. Like, it's real easy to say these things. But what's hard to do is, like, action and stuff. Hakeem here is saying the right words, finally. Years late, he's saying the correct words. But what is he going to do about it? Odds are he does nothing. Because he respects the rules, respects the laws, respects his colleagues so highly that nothing can be done. And he will, odds are, do nothing other than ask you for more money. That's what he's going to do. But why do they suck this much? Are they just bought and paid for? Maybe, but there's more money on the right side of the spectrum. So if they were just interested in money, they would just be Republicans. Are they just dumb? I mean, maybe, but he went to college. Hakeem Jeffries went to college. He's probably a lawyer. He probably has a law degree. And he can comprehend the tiny nuances of parliamentary procedures. Often the Dems, like Hakeem Jeffries, their biggest complaint about the Republicans is that the Republicans didn't follow the proper red tape procedures necessary to enact the fascist dystopia. You can do a fascist dystopia, but fill out the paperwork first. Okay? That is mostly what Dems complain about. So I've tried to wrap my brain around them and think what they're thinking, understand their thoughts, understand their thought process. What are they doing? What are they thinking? What are they talking about? Well, I think I have some new ideas, things I hadn't thought about before. The Democrat leadership has been misinformed. Follow me on this. It's kind of hard to explain, but I have a video that helps us understand. Let me load up this video. Let me get this video loaded up. This video will kind of explain. It's not going to make any sense at first. You're going to say, well, that fucking video makes no sense, but I'll explain it. So this is the square hole video. So let's watch this video.
This is a square. Can you guess which spot that goes in?
The square.
That's right. It goes in the square hole.
Yes. Okay.
And how about this rectangle? That one
Also the square.
that goes in there too.
Yeah.
Up next we've got this thin rectangle.
The thin
Can you
rectangle.
guess where that goes?
The thin rectangle.
That's right. It goes in the square hole.
What?
And up next, a cylinder.
The circle.
I think that goes in
The circle.
the square hole.
Oh no.
Now, we've also got this semicircle right here. Do you see a slot that would fit
The semicircle.
semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the square hole. Okay. Up next, the triangle. We know what hole that goes
The
into,
triangle.
right?
Triangle.
That's right. The square hole. And up next, we have the arch.
The arch. The
And
arch.
you guessed it.
The arch.
It goes in the square
Oh,
hole.
God.
So, is this just a silly viral video? Yes, but this explains our entire political system right now. And you're not going to believe me when I explain this. The voting blocks, because you hear about this, so if you watch MSNBC or something like that, they talk about voting blocks. But we're looking at blocks right here, right? Voting blocks. The voting blocks are the blocks in the guy's hand, in that man's hand. Each has a different shape, representing the different ideas they have about how the country ought to be governed. You and I, the intelligent people, by watching political content, we become this lady on the left side of the screen. You are her. I am her right now. And that's what's happening, is I want you to put the arch block into the arch slot, but the Democrat consultants and the think tanks, they put it in the square slots, you see? And it upsets us because it doesn't go there. We have observed the shape of the blocks. We understand the different needs and priorities of each voting block. We know that suburban white college educated voters are interested in housing prices and education for their kids and the stock market going up so that it'll enhance their 401k. That's what their voting priorities are. While inner city black voters are more interested in daily affordability, the high rent in the cities, job equality, and justice reforms. Then at the same time, the progressive left is interested in socialized medicine, trans rights, and constraining the excesses of capitalism. The voting blocks are in different shapes. That's the point I'm trying to make here. And what the Democrats do with them is throw them all in the square hole because they don't know any better. They have been misinformed. How did they get this way? Well, let me start up Paint 3D. I'm going to move this over here, and then I'm going to try something wild and insane by showing you a completely different thing. I got Paint 3D to work. I've tried to put it on in the stream in the past, and it has failed, but I'm going to do it today. Totally going to do it. It's totally going to work. Why is my mouse not working? Why are you not scrolling down? Oh, we got to go to Web View. Then we got to close that, and then we go to Display Capture, and we go here. Bam, amazing. Wow. Paint 3D, everybody. There it is. Isn't it gorgeous? Brilliant and beautiful. Paint 3D. Now, this is your typical political topology right here. So 6% of that progressive left I talked about, 13 are establishment liberals, 16 for Democrat mainstays, 10 outsider left. So these are the blue dogs in the middle of the road. Then we've got people on the right who've got the ambivalent right who aren't really paying attention. They watch football and they watch The Masked Singer, and then they hate that their kids all have blue hair. Your populist right, which are the ones Trump really likes, the ones that really dig his messaging. Committed conservatives, these are your businessmen, and then faith and flag conservatives, which are your goddamn lunatics. So if you add those numbers up, which I have done for you, you're welcome. I'm so good at math, and you were struggling. I have no doubt. You get to 45 on the left and 40 on the right, which means that in this first past the post system that we have, you need 50%, 50.1% to win. Neither side is at 50%. So they need this middle of the road people. They need these people in the center. But you can't get the people in the center. The tricking them into voting for one side or the other is difficult. You know, the way to get them is to trick them, and that's not very nice. It's not very cool. to get the people in the center, you almost have to trick them into voting for you. So let me bring this back over here. There we go. Okay. I forgot. I lost my place. Where am I going with this? So yeah, you and I have seen the different shapes of the blocks. We know what other people are thinking about. We know what those progressive left want. We know what the Democratic mainstays want. We know what the inner city voters want. We know what the suburban voters want. And we recognize the differences. Do the leaders of the Democratic Party seem to campaign to the triangles? Do they seem to put together ads for the semicircles? Do they put together ideas for the cylinders? No. They campaign to the square hole. They run square hole ads in every district. They push square hole policies. They turn every debate toward square hole ideas. And that alienates the semicircles. That makes the cylinders feel bad because they're not being paid attention to. And so they don't show up. They don't go vote. You hear this a lot when they talk about kitchen table issues. Old Chuck Schumer talks about kitchen table issues all the damn time. And affordability or fixing the broken system, things like that. That's what he's talking about. That's square hole ideology. But they often don't give too many details, or that they're so middle of the road that the solution sounds like nothing at all. Increasing Pell Grants won't solve the soaring price of college. 10% more homeless shelters throughout the country won't stop homelessness. And the ACA, the Obamacare, was just more insurance, which is a scam. They steal from you. Insurance companies are stealing from you right now, probably. Even if you individually benefited from any one of these programs, they don't solve the problems. And the Dems, the Dem leadership, are not focused on solving those problems. No. They're not interested in solving those problems. All their time and money and attention and money is spent on the 15% in the middle. These 15% in the center are all they care about. They assume that everyone on the blue side will vote for them. And then these 15% are who need the attention. So that's who gets the attention. That's where they spend their money. They find those 15% in the stressed sideliners. Terrible name. I'm not going to call them that. But this chart calls them that out of decency. I'm not going to be decent towards them. They're incoherent morons, most of them. Most of the people in this 15% are incoherent morons. And the Dems spend all of that money, all of that time trying to get these incoherent morons to vote for them. And that's a difficult job, man. Convincing stupid people to do less stupid stuff is difficult. And I'm going to get in trouble and canceled for saying it, but if you need 50.1% to win the election, neither side can win without getting some of that middle. And this chart calls them stressed sidelines, but I'm not going to do that. That's way too kind. This 15% are, by and large, morons, wildly uninformed, entirely uninterested. The middle 15% on that chart are not enlightened centrists, sick of both sides, and who've risen above the fray. Nonsense. They're unengaged. They don't know how their government works. They do not know who the representative is or what they do. They might remember that there are 3 branches of government, but they won't be able to name them or tell you what they do. They hear about one big headline a week, and it rarely affects their daily lives. And when polled, they give wildly incoherent answers. They might accept gay people and know some in real life, but don't want them to get married. That's a step too far for the people in the center. They might support abortion rights, but also support gun deregulation, or the opposite. They might really dislike the idea of abortion, but want to regulate guns. How do they get, what position do they get put in when these are the only options? Like, where do you put that weirdly shaped person who's not a perfect circle, not a perfect square, not a perfect semicircle, not a perfect little arch, who thinks that gay people are fine and gay marriage is fine, but trans is too far? Where do they go? Well, the pollsters stick them in this 15%. And that 15% is incoherent, you see. If you support gay marriage, you should support trans rights. I mean, it doesn't, I can't imagine why you wouldn't. It's like you haven't finished the thought. You haven't finished thinking yet. These 15% in the middle are 7-sided cubes. They are 6-sided pyramids. They are a 21-sided dice. They are impossible shapes. You cannot appease them. You cannot make them. And the Dem leadership has been told for the past 20 years by consultants and pollsters and think tanks that these people in the middle, they just need to hear a plain person speaking calmly with very little charisma, speaking in a soft tone, and that means tested 6% tax rebate for pre-approved first-time home buyers in the Midwest. Our 27-point program to rewrite the charter for the Federal Reserve could create dividends of 4% over 19 years. Square whole ideas is what they propose. Don't go to the far side, the left. Don't move to the left. You'll piss off the incoherent people in the middle. Don't move to the right because you'll piss off the incoherent people in the middle. And if that gets too boring, if the very calm percentage math-based arguments get too boring, which they do, the Dems give lofty, high-minded speeches that don't mean anything about the shining city on a hill where dreams of the American forefathers strove to be the gleaming stars in the night sky of freedom. Doesn't mean anything. It's literally just nothing. And so, like, to cap all this off, let me put my screens back to where they go. I don't think we need that drawing anymore. Reorganize my stuff here. Oh. Go to the right place. Go to the right place. There we go. Web view is, oh, Jesus. Oh, my Jace. Oh, my God. Okay. So what we end up with is that Dems suck because they ignore their base. All of those blue squares on that thing, they ignore because they expect you to vote for them. They expect you to. You need to. You owe that to them, apparently. And they ignore you. They ignore anybody on the left to chase after an imaginary shape that cannot and will not be moved by square hole ideas. The Dems right now are just chasing after impossible shapes. You see these? These are insane. Wacky, impossible shapes. The Democrats are chasing after these shapes. Instead of serving you, instead of helping you to get what you want, accomplishing your goals, all of their money, all of their time is spent chasing impossible shapes. And when they catch them, what are they going to do with them? If they even attract the attention of one of these impossible rhombuses, these infinite triangles, what are they going to do with them? Well, they're going to give them square hole politics. They're going to put them in the square hole. If the Dems actually caught one of these, they would put it in the square hole. They spend so much money to find these 4-sided cylinders, these impossible shapes. Let me try that again. They ignore their constituents to chase after these imaginary shapes that cannot and will not be moved by square hole ideas. They spend so much money to get these 4-sided cylinders, to notice them, that the 4-sided cylinder will then tell them, if they even pay attention, that they are exactly the same as the Republicans, because that's what they do. These people in the middle say that all politics are the same and they're all the same. If you ever heard that from somebody, it's insane. They're not all the same. There is a huge difference between the left and the right and what the Republicans and the Democrats would do with the country. But the four-sided cylinder in the middle will say, no, they're all the same. And they don't watch the news. And if you need shitloads of money just to reach this person, and you really want more money, and you need more money, will you move left? No. Moving left is a loss of money. That is a decrease in capital power. So if you need shitloads of money to reach an impossible shape of a voter who isn't paying attention, you're going to move right. And that's what the Dems have done. They move right. They move toward capital, toward dollars. If you need more money and really want more money, you have to move to the right, taking on donors, super donors, and never bad-mouthing capitalism. You need the market to work for you so that you can spend your money chasing imaginary shapes to force them into the square hole. And it's an uphill battle. It's an impossible task. And that is why they suck so much. They need to stop chasing money. Stop chasing this 15% of incoherence in the middle and just stand on one or two good ideas. Bernie has like two main ideas, and any question you ask him will, within 5 minutes, get back to those two ideas. Taxing the millionaires and the billionaires and universal health care. He draws people toward him rather than chasing them. Democrat leadership needs to stop chasing voters. Stop spending billions of dollars to chase down incoherent morons and draw them to them. Draw those incoherent morons to you with good ideas. Tell them what your plans are. Stand firm on those ideas, on that ideology, on those thoughts, and then they will come to you the way they come to Bernie. So, yeah, that was my rant. That was my thought. That's my process. That's why they suck. That's why they're not doing a very good job. That's why they don't seem to be paying attention. That's why they don't hear the words that you're saying. That's why it takes them 2 damn years to catch up to me, to catch up to you on what you want. They cannot catch up to you because they're fighting the old battles. They're trying again and again and again to get get all the people in the square hole because it's easier that way. It's easier to do politics if everybody fits in the same hole. You see, you only have to have one message rather than 25 different messages. But the way to do that is give something universal to everybody. Everybody hates the rich people. Everybody hates the wealthy dodging taxes. Everybody wants the health care. Stand on those good ideas and the people will come to you. Don't be vague about what your plans are.
Whoa, weary cat.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the thought. That was my insane ramblings for today. Let's look at the news. So we'll turn that into a video if you want to watch it without all the stuttering and all the stammering and all the awkward pauses. You can go to the YouTube page and watch that on YouTube. So there's the YouTube link, and you can go there. And what I'll do is I take this and chop it into little parts, and then watch it, and then turn it into a little video, and then add some cool bass music underneath it. Because I'm not musical and I don't understand how music works. So that's all that is. Let's look at some news. If you're in chat, hop in, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling. Am I right about this? Am I wrong about this? Did I miss anything about the median voter and how awful they are? Let's close off the impossible shapes. Let's look at the news.
You're a square hole.
I'm a square hole, you see. And when I started trying to think about this and draw it out, what reminded me is that stupid video. He goes in the square hole. So yeah, you and I watching are the lady on the left being just miserable, saying, dude, why aren't you doing the right thing? Stupid Democrats. We have told you what we want. Put it in the triangle hole. And they don't. So if you want to put it in the triangle hole, hop in a chat. Anywho, news. What's news? A U.S. citizen and community observer live streamed masked ICE agents detaining her after they boxed in her car from all sides and smashed her window. Local police showed up and did nothing. Great. She was denied access to a restroom and forced to pee in the parking lot while handcuffed. Well, that's unpleasant. Let's take a look.
You're breaking my window, guys. I'm a U.S. citizen. It's insane. Insane. This guy's breaking my window, guys.
Her voice trembles with fear as Maria Sente holds back tears.
They're gonna try to arrest me.
Federal immigration agents breaking the U.S. citizen's car window with a hammer in an emotional arrest streamed live on Instagram Friday.
Breaking the glass. They really do enjoy breaking glass, don't they? They do that a lot. Man, I wonder if there's any, I don't know, historical precedents for breaking glass to prove how tough and strong you are. Hey, look, there is. Kristallnacht was a pogrom against Jews carried out by the Nazi Party. Paramilitary forces. Interesting. I think I see a paramilitary force right there. Look, a paramilitary force breaking glass. Honestly, you guys, you couldn't make it any more obvious. Along with some participation from the Hitler Youth, the German civilians throughout Nazi Germany, the German authorities looked on without intervening, and the police did nothing. Interesting. The euphemistic name Kristallnacht comes from the shards of broken glass that litter the streets after the windows of the Jewish-owned stores, buildings, and synagogues were smashed. Breaking the glass. I'm telling you, man, these guys are following the Nazi playbook. This is why I have called them Nazis. They keep doing Nazi shit.
It's probably simpler than that. They probably have an agreement with SafeLight.
Well, that would be complicated and difficult. No, KBP, that's too high-minded for them. They just like it. It's fun to break shit. These are ape brains. They're base creatures who just like to smash shit, especially if you don't look like them. This is gutter racism. This is the bottom basement of human interaction. You don't
That
look
would
like
be a funny
us.
new SafeLight ad.
It might, if SafeLight wanted to be edgy. I don't think they would be like, hey, give a discount to all the people in Minneapolis. Now there's your synergy working together, baby. Be like, hey, listen, need a window replaced in Minneapolis? Free if it was done by ICE. Honestly, but. And then I would use them in the future. I would be like, oh, you remember SafeLight? They were really woke and cool and based and awesome. Yeah, they're breaking the things that belong to the people they hate. That is what they are there for. They are not law enforcement. And if anybody calls ICE law enforcement, they're lying to you. They're trying to trick you. Even calling them law enforcement is a misnomer. It is a, I don't know, elevation beyond what they actually are. They shouldn't be called that. Don't call them law enforcement. And any one on TV calling them law enforcement is trying to brainwash you, trying to trick you, trying to lull you into a false dichotomy within your brain. They lay it on real lightly, and then you don't even notice that it's there. Calling ICE law enforcement is incorrect. Let's keep watching. Where do we go? Right.
Friday.
I thought this is it. This is my last moments.
Sente is still processing the frightening ordeal, which she believes stemmed from another encounter with ICE 2 days prior, agents stopping her car off the 10 freeway.
That's my first warning? Okay. Get out of my city. Get out of my city. Turns out they weren't stopping me. They were just intimidating me.
Sente was once again recording Friday afternoon when ICE surrounded her vehicle around 2 at the Chevron on Peck and Valley in El Monte.
They're gonna try to arrest me. This is insane. I can't believe this is happening, guys. Lord, please protect me. Lord, please. Guys, I don't trust them. One of the officers got on the curb on the middle island to box my car in. One came on here and one was behind me. Because of all the commotion, police department got there.
But El Monte police did not intervene as Sente was arrested.
They threw me in their car. We got on the 10 freeway. They took me all the way on a joyride to Santa Ana, and then they get off on an exit.
By 5 Friday evening, Sente, whose charges include resisting arrest, was released. Her experience worsened when she says El Monte police refused to let her use the restroom.
Okay, so yeah, this is a patriot right here. She is fighting, even a little bit, against an authoritarian takeover that's happening in America. That's what's happening here. They are there not to protect people. They are there to harm their political enemies. ICE is there to hurt people. That is what they want. They want to cause chaos. They want to cause a Kristallnacht. They want to intimidate the people who do not appreciate their specific brand of fascism. They want to hurt their enemies. And our government is paying for it to happen because Donald Trump likes that, because he is an authoritarian surrounded by fascists. And they are doing severe damage to our country, to our people, to our citizens, and our patriots. Like her. She is a patriot. Maria Sante, patriot, fighting against fucking Nazis. Good job. So let's see what else we got in the news today. Oh, here we go. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's this guy. His name is Jeffrey Epstein. He did a bunch of bad things, and we got more Epstein drops yesterday. A lot more stuff. It's still being sorted through. Lots of people are looking through it, but this is my favorite one by far. So apparently, Epstein met with the founder of 4chan. You know, the shitty website with Nazis and furry porn all over it. He met with Epstein back in like 2011. Let's look at where did it go? Here we go. So Boris Nikolic, I don't know who that is, but I suspect that he's a Russian spy, sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein saying, can I do a Russian? I can't do a Russian accent. Last night and this morning in San Francisco, fun. Also met some interesting people. There's a cool guy, kid, you should meet. Christopher Poole. He is only 23. Read his bio. The rest of DAV in Seattle, in MTE, I don't know what any of that is. Tomorrow morning for NYC. What's the plan for Woody? Probably Woody Allen. Have you tickets? Can't wait to see you. He's friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And Boris says to Epstein, hey, you need to meet this Christopher Poole kid. He's great. And then he says, yes, that he is great. Oh, so this is to Epstein again from Boris. Yeah, he is great. I had no clue who he was when we met. We talked for almost an hour nonstop. He will be a friend. FYI, he is one of the greatest hackers. So the notorious hacker known as 4chan, Christopher Poole, who founded 4chan, is meeting with a Boris Nikolic, who is probably a Russian spy, and meeting with Epstein. So Epstein said, I liked him a lot. I drove him home. He is very bright. And if you look carefully, you can see that all of Jeffrey Epstein's emails are written like a fucking dipshit. He can't form a sentence. I, undercase, liked Mamot. His nickname is Moot, M-O-O-T, but he typed M-M-O-T. A lot, which is 2 words, not 1. Period, space, I, undercase again, drove him home, comma, he is very bright, no period at the end. And I know this is an aside, but when we get these, and you see these billionaires can't write a simple fucking email, this is why they need AI. This is why they're pushing so hard for AI. Him and Elon cannot write an email to save their lives. They cannot structure a sentence. I write better than Jeffrey Epstein. I write better emails than Elon Musk. If I had written anything like that, I'd be fired from my job. I would, honestly. If you sent that out as an email, good Lord. So, back on track, Waldo. Back on track. We're not here being grammar Nazis. We're yelling at the actual Nazis. So this is from Boris again. Sure, I will be there as well in 2 weeks or so. Just let Bill running lunch for Rubenstein. Not anything important there. And then to Leslie Groff from Jeffrey Epstein. Tell Chris Poole to feel free to bring anyone he thinks is clever. To where? To a meeting with Epstein? Christ almighty, dude. What about Chris Poole has confirmed he will come see you 3 p.m. on Sunday, January 29th. So the creator of 4chan met with Epstein. Sorry for missing this. I've been off email from Chris Poole to somebody named Chris. No, from Chris Poole. Okay. To someone that's been redacted. Sorry for missing this. I've been off email for the past few weeks in an attempt to catch up with the rest of my life, hoping to see Boris at TED and hopefully see Jeffrey in New York. See, look how he, the infamous hacker, writes a fucking sentence properly. Capitalization, hello, blank, enter twice, capitalization, comma, punctuation, hope you're well, comma, space. He wrote better than Epstein, who's a billionaire. Better than anything Elon's ever typed. Hi, Chris. Jeffrey wanted me to let you know that Boris is around all we can do. Okay, so what is the important part here? Why is this important? This solidifies a lot of the things that I've been talking about. Jeffrey Epstein was a spy. That was his job. So was Boris on this fucking email chain. I have no doubt. Your name is fucking Boris. You have a lot of money. You're hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. You talk to Vladimir Putin. You fucking do. There's no way around that. I don't know a single goddamn thing about Boris on this email chain, but I know that he is rich enough to be hanging around with Jeffrey Epstein, so he is feeding information to Vladimir Putin. That is not a fucking doubt in my mind that is true. Jeffrey Epstein was a spy. This is why the cover-up continues. This is what most people don't think about when they're discussing him. He was a spy. He fed information. He was paid for information. You do a bad thing while Epstein's around, he documents it, he records it, he keeps track of it, and he sells that information to whoever pays him, including your FBI, your CIA, your State Departments, and the Russian KGB, and whatever the Chinese version of the CIA is. I forget what they're called, but they have one. China has information gathering capabilities, and they paid Epstein. So did Russia. So did your FBI. If you're an American and you're paying taxes, you paid Jeffrey Epstein. I paid Jeffrey Epstein when I paid my taxes. So did you. That is the cover-up. That is the reason for the cover-ups. That is the big dirty secret that nobody wants to talk about and nobody wants to get out. Everyone in America who paid taxes paid a little bit to Jeffrey Epstein. We bought his island for him. That's what we did. That's how spies work. That's how they operate, man. He gets an island paid for by your tax dollars. And the assorted blackmails that he's doing, because he still blackmails people on the side. He's got multiple jobs. 1, child trafficking. 2, blackmailing all the Johns who come for the child trafficking. 3, selling that blackmail information to the KGB, to the FBI, to the CIA. That is what he does. That's why he has money. Where did he get all that money? He's not selling things. He's not turning raw products, raw materials into products and selling them on the market. No, he's selling information. He's selling secrets. He's selling blackmail. He's selling his silence for all the horrible things that the people did on that island. He's keeping that secret. And if you want him to keep his mouth shut, you're going to pay him. You're going to pay to go to one of his parties. And then once you're there, just like Chris Poole did, Mr. Moot, the inventor of the founder of 4chan. Now, knowing all this, guess who else is a spy? The founder of 4chan. Obviously, man, 4chan is a spy place. That's where the FBI and the CIA watch all the lunatics. If you've ever posted anything on 4chan, the FBI has read it. It's what they do. They know it's there. Yes, it's anonymous, but they can track your IP address. And they know who you are. If you are on the poll board, which is the one that everybody is freaking out about, which is here, that's where all the Nazis hang out. If you're there on the politically incorrect board and you have posted anything, I mean anything at all, since it launched in 2011, the FBI has read it. They know what you posted. The CIA has read it and know what you wrote and know who you are. Because it's a spy operation. 4chan lures you in with the dank wallpapers or the leaked nudes or the furry art. They lure you in with that. And then they also lure in politically incorrect people who want to post Nazi shit. And the poll board is just filled with Nazis. Like, I'm not going to go to it. I went to it 10 years ago and was like, oh, well, this place is full of Nazis, and then I abandoned it. Lots of bad ideas are built there. Lots of bad ideas are stewed and fermented there. And the CIA is aware of all of them. The FBI is aware of all of them and everyone who is there posting. So is Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, spy. Selling information to the FBI. Moot from 4chan built a place for the FBI to come and find all the crazies. They put out bait, and all the crazy Nazis showed up there. And so the FBI started investigating them and looking at them and listening to what they had to say. It's a spy tool. Most online things are spy tools. I'm talking to you into a camera right now, and that's a spy tool. Like, the FBI knows where I am. They can look at this. They can look at my name. They can look at my face. They can look at my driver's license. They can reference my tax records, and they can come to my door any damn time they want. It's just that they don't want to. Haven't committed any crimes. Just been talking shit, which is usually not a crime. Lately, it has turned into one. Usually not. And then the FBI usually has the same mission, no matter who wins the presidency. They did the same shit for Ronald Reagan as they did during Jimmy Carter. They did the same thing for George W. Bush as they did for Obama. They don't change that much normally. Donald Trump is special. He is exceptional in that way that he fired lots of FBI agents. Kash Patel, the podcaster, was put in charge of the FBI, and he fired everybody who wasn't super hard right-wing MAGA. So now they're over-abusing their power. That's why you see what they're doing in Minneapolis. That's why they're breaking the windows. That's why they're coming after and arresting journalists. That's why they're prosecuting people for made-up fucking charges, because they are no longer bound by the rules of law. They're no longer bound by what can be proven in a court of law. They don't give a shit. And that leads into the next couple of things. So let me wrap this up. 4chan is used as a tool against you to find out who you are, what you're doing, and spy on you. It always has been. It always will be. And is there anything valuable in these places? A lot of people will defend places like 4chan or places like Kiwi Farms. Also, don't go to Kiwi Farms. It's just straight up Nazis. They'll consider that a containment site. I don't know if you've ever heard that term before, but containment site. So you set up a place with no rules, and then all the worst people in society go there and hang out there, and they're contained. No, horseshit. If you allow the Nazis to go to one place and keep an eye on them, it's not like they won't go anywhere else. So, yeah, that's wrong. Those are not containment, but incubators. The shitheads there hone their skills and perfect their arguments. They learn what issues they can push and what they can't. Then when they feel strong enough, they raid outward to take over other sites, other chats, other discords, other fucking live streamers, and they overrun them with numbers. That's what the poll board has been for a while, is Nazis perfecting and sharpening their Nazi tools and then going to attack people in mass. And then they organize on there. And sometimes that's useful for the FBI if they can direct it, because they probably do. They direct that shit sometimes if they're being malevolent or they have an enemy. And that's why you can't just allow Nazis to be on websites. You just got to be like, hey, no, none of that shit. You're not allowed to do that. And I know that is censorship, I know. But it's okay to not tolerate the intolerant. I will not tolerate intolerance. Is it censorship? Yes. But if they get their way, they start breaking glass. We get to the crystal knocked again, don't we? We get insane people lying right to your face, telling you that ICE is law enforcement. And they're not. So that's why you can't allow it. And I know it's difficult, but that is the line we have to walk to have a decent society, is the intolerance is not allowed. Let's see, what else we got? Hey, let's look at some photos from stuff that's happening still in Michigan, or Minneapolis, Minnesota, sorry. ProPublica is usually one of the good ones. So if you're looking for news, if you want to watch stuff, if you're like, hey, what the hell's going on? ProPublica is usually pretty good. Over the past month, the Trump administration has deployed thousands of federal immigration agents into the Minneapolis area. On Saturday, January 24th, federal agents shot and killed Alex Pretty, a 37-year-old intensive care nurse for the Department of Veterans Affairs. Pretty was the third person shot by federal agents in the area in January. And we've got the DHS initially said they fired a defensive shots after Pretty approached officers with a weapon, but video of the incident appears to contradict that claim. Amazing. DHS said this week that 2 officers involved were placed on leave, which means free vacation. They get to go home and they get to be paid for doing nothing. And you keep paying their salary. Tom Homan, the criminal, said the administration is working on making the operation safer, more efficient by the book, said Tom Homan. He said that the agents will focus on targeted strategic enforcement operations with prioritization on public safety threats. That's my Tom Homan voice. Our photojournalists, Senek Yar and Peter DeCampo, were on the ground to take photos. Okay, cool. So we got some photos of just ICE agents at the building site, because obviously you're going to hire immigrants to build your houses. Yeah, there we go. Chase them around, all that fun stuff. So yeah, lots of fun photos if you go on to ProPublica. Tear gas in the middle of a fucking normal ass neighborhood filled with children. Tear gas gets everywhere. You know, it's not like a harmless thing. It harms people. It hurts. It is not a fun time, and you're exposing all these children to it because you hate them. ICE hates them. ICE hates all of these people. ICE thinks that they need to crack down and harm the people who do not agree with them, who do not accept their rule. And that is authoritarianism. So we got some photos, people fighting back. And these are just normal ass people. You know, that's what makes me feel good, that the normal people are turning against ICE and don't like what they're doing. Here we are. Yeah. Tear gas everywhere because they just throw that shit around everywhere. Old people getting wrecked. They're just throwing it. This is a fucking war zone. This looks like a fucking war zone from you'd watch from another country. Because ICE is at war with you. Sorry to let you know if you did not know that already. ICE is at war with America. Donald Trump is at war with America and the American people. We are in the beginnings of a civil war right now. Not because the left did anything wrong, but because they hate everyone who is not a straight white man Republican. They hate them, and they will control them. They will demand complete, total control of every single person that they can. And right now, the laws are written in such a way that they can decide who comes into the country and who doesn't. And if you're not a straight white man, you don't get to come into the country. And if you're not a straight white man, you might be removed from the country because they hate you. They are doing white nationalism, Christian nationalism, and ethnic cleansing. They're trying to, anyway. They want to. They haven't worked up quite to ethnic cleansing yet, but they are working on it. They would if you let them. If there were not people standing in the road stopping them, they would do 100% ethnic cleansing in America. ICE would do that if we did not stop them. They would remove literally every person of color from this country because they are fucking racists. They are bad people. And they disguise it. They hide it by law enforcement, talking about law and order. Lies, horseshit, nonsense. They make that shit up as they go, whenever they damn well feel like it. And it's not going to get better because, hey, guess what? The FBI search of the Georgia Election Center is dangerous, experts warn. Of course it was. It was illegal as well, I think, because some people are saying it was illegal. The Fulton County raid may have been illegal. Legal experts warn, but it definitely raises fears for 2026. So what did we do? What did they do? When the FBI executed a warrant on Wednesday to seize records from the 2020 presidential vote in Fulton County, Georgia, it marked both an extraordinary event in the history of American election and significant escalations in President Donald Trump's breaking of democratic norms, several legal experts said. Donnie and his illegitimate DOJ, his illegal criminal-filled Department of Justice, went and stole, and I'm telling you straight out, they stole information from a voting place in Fulton County, Georgia. Now, if you recognize that term, Fulton County, Georgia, that is because it was a big damn deal during the 2020 election. That was the county where Donald called. Remember the phone call where he called and said, you just need to find me 11,000 votes, guys. That's all I'm asking you to do. Find me 11,000 votes. He didn't care if they were legitimate. He didn't care if they were real. He didn't care if they wrote each one out right then and there on the phone and found a stack of 11,000 votes and just voted for him over and over again 11,000 times. He would have thanked them and given them a high five and a place on his cabinet is what he would have done in 2020, because he is a criminal. He is a liar. He is a cheater at elections. He cheats at elections. And when you tell him he lost, he will cheat to win. In Fulton County, that's what happened. Giuliani was there investigating in his capacity as a fucking dipshit to go there and misunderstand literally everything and then lie to the TV about how crooked it was. It wasn't. It was fine. He put that shit in front of a judge and his shit got shut down. He called some of the election workers by name. He called them out. These were not public people. These were private people who were just working at the polling place. One, for a job, and two, because it's their civic fucking duty. They're heroes. The people who count your fucking votes are heroic. And they do it for very little money because they feel proud of the idea of America and democracy. And Giuliani called them fucking names, called them liars, and was sued for defamation and lost. He paid them millions of dollars for dragging their name through the mud by lying about them. Literally happened in court. He lied on TV. They sued him. They put it in front of a judge, and the people who he lied about won, and he paid them millions of dollars. And now he's going to come onto the scene in the next couple of days and tell you again and again and again and again that Donald Trump was robbed and the election in Fulton County, Georgia was crooked. And he is a proven literal liar. That's where we are in this fucking country. Literal, proven liars are going to go onto the TV and lie to you again. And the TV is going to put them on there. Fox News is going to have them up there. OAN is going to talk about it, how intelligent it is. And all the people on the right are going to tell you that the 2020 election was stolen. The president of the United States is going to go onto the fucking TV again and lie his ass off so that you don't vote the wrong way in 2026. He's going to lie about yesterday to control what you do tomorrow. What else did they do there? There were the suitcases of ballots were there, and that was also horseshit. By proving that the election there was rigged in 2020, they can reassure their base and make them feel better, make them feel like they didn't actually lose, and that Donnie did win in 2020. It was all a scam, and there's no possible way that they were ever wrong. You see, the people on the right have feelings. They have very strong feelings. Okay? They do not vote for policy. No, nonsense, insanity. The right wing does not vote for policy. They vote based on their feelings, their fee-fees. Their fear is a feeling. They fear the immigrant. They fear the blue-haired wokies. They fear their children coming home educated properly. It makes them not want to be a fucking coal miner. It makes them not want to live in a dead-end town. That education prevents their children from becoming coal miners or dead-end fucking Dairy Queen workers, you know? And it prevents them from having babies at 17. That education. So they hate that education. They hate the things that make their children's lives better because it will make their lives not like their parents' lives. And that's fucking insane. It's a dead-end fucking lack of evolution, you know? If it was good enough for my grandma to work at Dairy Queen her whole life and never be able to do multiplication and have 7 children by the time she was 25, then it should be good enough for you. Okay? And if you tell them, hey, I would like something different, it's an insult. If their kids come to them, if the right-wing people have children who then would like to go and do other things, it's an insult. They hate that. Is this life not good enough for you? Haven't I given you everything you ever wanted? No, you haven't. Well, we didn't have enough money. Well, you didn't have enough money because you didn't have enough education because you didn't get a good job and you live in a shithole. I'm rambling again. Sorry. But yeah, this one bothers me. So the government has robbed a state of their election material to lie to you about what that election material says. And that's what's going to happen. Over the next week, they will invent horse shit. They will find they'll find 2 John Smiths on the list and then tell you that John Smith voted twice. They will leave out important information that John Smith is a very common name. And there actually are 2 of them in the fucking world. And we see the things, and that's 2 completely different people who got checked by the election officials, have 2 different addresses, 2 different social security numbers, but they'll leave all that shit out. The president won't go into the details. He'll just tell you that 2 people with the same name voted. And then that'll be proof positive that he was robbed and stolen and the election was rigged. And then he will start arresting people. He is going to arrest people. They arrested Don Lemon, the fucking CNN anchor, just the other day. Well, he was former CNN anchor until he made a sexist comment and they fired him. But yeah, they're going to arrest people. They're going to arrest these election officials. They're going to arrest the people who counted the votes. They're going to arrest the attorneys general and stuff like that who prosecuted these cases and They might even arrest the judges. I have the feeling that's the big Rubicon we're going to see next is Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, the horrible people that they are, they put out lawsuits. They filed lawsuits, and then they were beaten and defeated with facts and logic. They lost in the court of law with facts and logic. The judges who oversaw that, the defenders of the state of Georgia, are the next to be arrested because they argued with the facts that Donald Trump was trying to invent. If you stand against his lies, he will use the government to hurt you. And that is what's coming next. Pam Bondi is going to try to arrest the people who told you the truth about the Georgia election. They have raided and stolen all of this information from the state, and they are going to doctor it. They're going to bend it. They're going to break it. They're going to poke holes in it, and then bring you the broken, bent, hole-filled thing and tell you that it was ruined by somebody else. Somebody else bent it. Somebody else broke it. Somebody else poked these holes, and they're the criminals, and they need to go to jail. Trump has long claimed, without evidence, that's the important part, without evidence, that the 2020 election was stolen from him and blamed Georgia in particular for his loss to Joe Biden. After the election, he famously made a call pressuring the Secretary of State to find him enough votes to win. That Secretary of State is about to be arrested. About a week ago, in a speech in the World Economic Forum, Trump once again called the 2020 election rigged and promised people will soon be prosecuted for what they did. You can't prosecute people until you arrest them. So this Attorney General, he was a Secretary of State, is about to be arrested. The warrant served on the Fulton County Election Center sought ballots, tabulator tapes, digital tape data, and voter rolls. Thank you. Wow. I got some cinnamon rolls delivered to me. Ooh, delicious, delicious cinnamon rolls. I might eat them after I'm done ranting. And before I play a video game. Maybe. That's what we'll do. Sorry, where was I? I was mad and angry and hating, and then somebody brought me cinnamon rolls, and now I'm happy and pleasant and delightful. Anyway, let me get back into the rant mood. I'm not aware of something like this happening ever before, said Rick Hassan, a professor at the Law School of University of California. The idea that federal officials would seize ballots in an attempt to prove fraud is especially dangerous in this context when we know that there is no fraud because the Georgia 2020 election has been extensively counted, recounted, and investigated. We already did all of the counting and the recounting and the investigating, and we know the outcome. Donald doesn't like that outcome. So he sent his crooked FBI in to break the already investigated thing and manufacture bullshit so that he can give you that bullshit and you will believe him. That is his plan. And a lot of the country is going to believe him. He broke in, he stole this shit illegitimately, illegally, against all laws, and he is going to manipulate it. He is going to doctor it. He's going to break it. He's going to ruin the chain of custody so that he can lie to you. So that he can lie to his base, so that he can lie to those 15% in the middle, those incoherent morons who do not know what politics is. They don't know where their votes go or how they get counted, but they will believe, some of them, that Donald Trump is telling the truth when he says he was robbed. And the media is not going to help you. They're not. They are not going to help you with this. They're not going to set this shit straight. No. If CNN ran a story about this, telling you that the president stole this shit, they would get sued. They would. They would simply be sued out of existence for billions of dollars. Calling the president a liar on TV will get you sued. Doesn't matter if you can prove that he's a liar. Anybody can. But that would require lawyers and shit, lawyer fees. And then the lawyers would have to get paid, and then you will lose money. So they just choose not to do it. They choose to leave it ambiguous for you to decide. They'll write headlines. Donald Trump says that the 2020 election was rigged. Donald Trump contends the election. He suggests that certain things were crooked and wrong. He confiscated all of this, all of these election materials to find the truth. And then he will come onto the screen and lie his ass off. And the best that mainstream TV media will do is be like, well, he says it's disputed. We're hearing reports that the things are being investigated. No, call him a goddamn liar. It's what the people want. It's what the people want. It's what everyone who isn't MAGA wants, is for the goddamn TV media to say, he's a giant super liar. Stop listening to him. Don't put his bullshit on the screen. That's what the people want. They're scared. They're scared to lose advertiser dollars. They're scared to lose donor dollars. Anybody who has too much money can't be trusted. That's all there is to it. Trump and his allies filed 60 legal cases across the nation seeking to overturn the 2020 election results, all of which failed, even those before Trump appointed judges. This looks like a way to use the might of the federal government to further Trump voter fraud narratives. An FBI spokesperson declined to request for comment, except to say that the Bureau isn't conducting a court-authorized law enforcement activity. No other information is available at this time because they're fucking criminals. Pam Bondi needs a narrative. She needs certain things to be written down in a certain way, and she needs you to believe her. They need accusations, because accusations are all that matter. Accuse them of being criminals, accuse them of cheating, and then later steal some information. And if there is no evidence, invent some evidence, okay? Just misunderstand, intentionally, willingly misunderstand the evidence. They'll find Juan Carlos voted, and they'll find a second Juan Carlos, and they will tell you that 4 million illegals voted. They will. They'll find two guys named Juan Carlos and tell you that 4 million people voted illegally. That's what they're going to do. The 11,000 votes were all stolen and hidden and burn bags, and they told to make up 1,000 conspiracies. And I won't be able to distract all of them. I won't be able to disassemble all of them. No one will. The media won't. They won't spend their time trying to find the facts. And you and I only have so much time in the fucking day to look into things and figure out what's going on, talk about things. And the fire hose will get some people wet, and those people will say, oh, obviously Donald Trump has a point. He's totally right about this. This is a weird situation that nobody's talking about because the media is crooked. So let's just believe Donald Trump. This is not legitimate. This is Donald Trump's obsession with losing 2020 election. This is his way to sow doubt that Fulton County doesn't hold proper elections. This guy's saying it right out. Mr. Ivory, I don't know who Ivory is, but knocking it out of the park. This is not legitimate. Here we go about Rudy Giuliani, accused of election workers of rigging the votes with suitcases of ballots in his own arguments to overturn the election. Yeah, claims that were quickly debunked for which he lost 150 million defamation suits brought by 2 of the workers. So he called the workers and told them they were cheating. They proved that they weren't in court, and he lost $150 million in that defamation case. So literally, we know the answer to this question. Was there anything illegitimate, illegal happening in Fulton County during the 2020 election? And the answer is fucking no. No, there was not. We counted, we recounted, we investigated. Nothing went wrong. Donald Trump lost that county. He lost the state of Georgia, and he lost the presidential election in 2020. He cannot accept that. The Republicans cannot accept that, so they will lie to you constantly to make it true. Let's see what else we got. So yeah, it was illegal to do that. And here we go. More election news. New Trump act may lead to total GOP takeover of elections. Most important news out there. Again, you're not hearing about this shit. Nobody's talking about it. Donald Trump administration just took action that hints about future ambitions for total electoral takeover by Republicans, former prosecutor said on Thursday. It was recently reported that the FBI and DNI Secret Secretary Tulsi Gabbard swarmed the election field office in Georgia. So when they went to Georgia, the DNI Secretary Tulsi Gabbard, a Russian spy, Hillary Clinton was right on that one. I am upset with, I don't like Hillary all that much, but she was right on this. This one, calling Tulsi Gabbard a Russian fucking asset, was the most true thing she's ever said. Tulsi swarmed the election field office in Georgia, purportedly to investigate the 2020 election in which Joe Biden defeated the incumbent Trump. Trump has long held that he won that election, which he says was rigged against him despite him being president at the time, so he would have been in charge of what was happening in the country. So there's been a lot of speculation about what he might hope to accomplish with the raid. According to ex-prosecutor Joyce Vance, very smart lady, the Fulton County search warrant and its implications for the 2026 and future elections is the most important news out there right now and not getting the coverage it merits. On Substack, she wrote, the most important question in 2026 is whether the midterm elections will be free and fair, and the developments go to the heart of that. It's highly unlikely the investigation will turn up any vote count fraud connected to 2020 election result in Fulton County because of how many times the ballots have been recounted. Still, she said, if a case is spawned from the search, then there should be questions about potential ballot manipulation by the DOJ. So if they find evidence where there was none, how did they do that? Because they fucking lied. They made that shit up. They manipulated the ballots. If the DOJ, who is running ICE right now, do you trust ICE? No. Who owns them? Who tells them what to do? The Department of Justice. The Department of Justice is now also raiding state voter rolls, demanding that the state of Minnesota give all their voter information to the DOJ. That's one of the other things that we'll talk about here in just a minute, but they are demanding that in an apparent ransom to push seize state voter rolls for Minnesota. This isn't Georgia that we're talking about here. It's Minnesota. They want that data, that voter information, so that they can manipulate it and lie to the American people. So the lying ass DOJ does come up with a case based on the evidence it seized. It will be legitimate to raise concerns about how the integrity of the ballots and other documents after they were seized came into the custody of the Justice Department. That would have been unthinkable regardless of which party was in the White House just a few years ago. But the Trump administration has amassed quite a record of lying and deceiving courts and not following their orders. It would be irresponsible to avoid hard questions about their work product given what was in place last year. The DOJ cannot be trusted. They are staffed with liars. And if you weren't a liar, they fired you. Fire everyone who ain't a liar. And they are now about to tell you who won in the past. They're going to change the previous elections results because they are fucking criminals. We do not have law in this country anymore. I point to the chart all the damn time. We do not have laws anymore. We do not have a legal system that functions. Donald Trump and the Republicans have ruined it. They have taken over and done the thing that no other president did, which was drive the DOJ. The DOJ has always existed as it is now. Well, not always existed, but the last president, all the presidents within our lifetime, appoint someone to the DOJ and then walk the fuck away. Do not tell him what to do. Do not tell him who to go after. Do not tell him what to prosecute and what not to prosecute. They are supposed to be independent, but they do. If you're crooked, you tell him what to do. And Donald Trump is crooked. So he tells Pam Bondi who to go after, what state to harm, what place to raid. And then she does it because she loves his style of authoritarianism. She is an authoritarian also. So she does not want people to be making decisions that she doesn't agree with. If the people make a decision that she doesn't like, clearly the people are wrong and need to be harmed by the government. That is the world we are moving into. That is the situation that all of us are going to wake up in tomorrow. Oops, sorry, bumped the mic. That is the situation that all of us live in now. If you do a thing that is legal, but the government doesn't like it, they can hurt you. They will hurt you. If you're loud enough, if you stick out enough, if you do a legal thing like recording ICE, they will hurt you. If you do a legal thing like documenting what the federal government is doing, they will hurt you. If you try to help people that ICE are harming, they will kill you. You are in a civil war right now. I'm sorry if you don't like that, or if it's bad news or that harshes your buzz. I apologize. You are in it whether you like it or not. Donald Trump is at war with America. He is at war with our democracy. He is at war with our states. That makes me sad. This apparent ransom comes from the same DOJ. Senate Democrats condemn the Trump administration for crossing a dangerous new line in its effort to seize state voter rolls, according to the warning that the Justice Department is now using coercion and intimidation after courts rejected its legal claims. The DOJ says, give us the fucking voter information, and the court said no, and now they're trying to force them. How do they force them? Violently, by harming the citizens of that state. That's the other reason that they're in Minnesota, in Minneapolis right now, harming the blue city until it gives up the voter information. Then the DOJ will take that voter information, alter it, literally lying, literally breaking it, turning it into misinformation, and then spitting it out onto TV, lying to you about what they're doing. Lying to you about who voted for who, lying to you about the sanctity of that vote. That is the plan. That is the actual, not even a plan anymore. They're halfway done with it. That is the actions they are taking now. Steal voter information, lie to the American public about it. Then tomorrow, figuratively, in the near future, people will be arrested for the lies that they invented. So this guy is talking about it. Let's listen to him talk about it.
So a judge signed a warrant for this search, which according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, included all physical ballots from the 2020 general election in Fulton County, all tabulator tapes from every voting machine, all ballot images during the original count, and all of the voter rolls. That's what we know according to reporting at this point. Why do you think, we all have our theories, but why do you think DOJ is doing this right now? Trump's DOJ is doing this right now.
Jen, thank you for having me. And this is a seismic event. Mm-hmm. This should have people across the country absolutely shook. This is a huge deal. This is an FBI raid on the Fulton County Elections Office. His conspiracy theories about the 2020 election have been based in Georgia from the very start. Georgia is where he called the Secretary of State and said, find me the votes that he needed to win in a state he had lost. So much of the big lie that led to the January 6th sacking of the United States Capitol, that had a mob seeking the Speaker of the House and the Vice President to lynch them, originated in his lies about the state of Georgia. And here he has the FBI, which there are so many hardworking, diligent public servants in FBI field offices all across the country, but its headquarters now in the thrall of these political appointees, Kash Patel and Bongino and this guy from Missouri in the deputy role, who are partisan political actors, raiding this election office in Georgia, seizing all of this information, all of these records, taking it who knows where, chain of custody now broken. And here's the thing. This is a shot across the bow at the midterm elections. He tried to steal power when he lost it in 2020. We have to be prepared for all kinds of schemes and shenanigans. We have to be prepared for him to try to deprive people of their voting rights. In Georgia, where we have the most competitive United States Senate race in the country, And I'm asking people to help me defend this election and voting rights in Georgia, to log on to electjon.com, electjon.com.
As usual, it ends with re-electing me.
And contribute to help us fight the good fight and make sure that the people can speak.
He needs money. Jon Ossoff will protect you if he's got money. Okay, you got to give him some money so that he can get reelected, so that he can keep protecting you. He used the word lie once there, which is good, but he didn't call Donald Trump a liar. I am, because I get to. I get to call Pam Bondi a liar. I get to call Kash Patel a liar because of the First Amendment. They might cancel that shit too soon, but maybe they'll get rid of that shit too. But this does affect the 2026. This is what's going to happen. They've already set a precedent where a judge will allow them write off a warrant and create one that will allow them to steal election information, steal election materials, take it with them wherever the fuck they want. And that will happen after the 2026 election. This will happen again and again and again unless somebody in the goddamn government fucking stops them. But Democrats need more money to stop them. Democrats don't do anything except raise money. That's all they do. That's all they want to do. They don't want to do anything else. They need money to get elected, and they need to stay elected, so they need more money. They don't want to take a stand. They don't want to raid, not raid, but like occupy the White House. And I mean that like literally, physically. Jon Ossoff, you should be in the Oval Office screaming at the president at the top of your fucking lungs. Call him a liar. Go to where he sits and scream at him. Have you seen what the people in Minnesota are doing? Have you seen what the people in Minneapolis are doing? Take that goddamn whistle to the fucking Oval Office and scream at him. And if he has you arrested, good. The people will fucking cheer for you. They will love you getting in harm's way. It takes bravery. I know it is scary and dangerous, but they will love it, and they will love you. You will become a hero. You will become the most talked about human being on the planet. If you get in there with one of those damn whistles, they're plastic. You can get it through the metal detector. You get in there and you blow that whistle and you call him a liar right to his goddamn face. You'll become the most popular man in the world. And then all the shows will have you on, and then you call him a damn liar on the shows. And then you tell the people that he's stealing their information, he's stealing their votes, he's stealing their stuff, and he's going to do it tomorrow. That way, when he does it, they know. The people don't watch Jen Psaki. I'm sorry. Jen Psaki, I'm sure you're a lovely lady. People on the right don't watch you. Those 15% incoherent maniacs in the middle don't watch you. You need them to know that Donald Trump is a crook. We need the people in the middle to know that he's a crook. We need the people on the right to know he's a crook. You don't get that by talking civilly, politely on Sunday morning Jen Psaki show. You don't. You fucking don't get it. You don't get the people in the middle paying attention. You don't get the people on the right hearing the truth. You need to be more extreme, Mr. Ossoff. Saying a true thing on a Sunday show on MSNBC and asking for donations is not going to stop him. But that's all the Democrats do. They say technically true things in a polite tone, in a nice way, using the right language, and then ask for money on MSNBC. That's it. That's their plan. That is their plan. That's the Dems' plan to stop fascism. Politely discuss it on a Sunday morning MSNBC show, and then ask for money. That is the extent of their plan. That is all they have. That is all they've got. There is nothing else that they want to do. There's nothing else that they will do. That is the extent. And it ain't going to work. Get in his face. Get in President Trump's face. Take one of those whistles. Ask one of the many people who are donating whistles to Minneapolis to send you one. get in the Oval Office, blow that damn thing, and call Donald Trump a liar to his face. And when he arrests you, the entire country will cheer for you. You will become a hero. That's it for me today. I appreciate it. Was here. Thanks for coming in, KVP. Kind of a quiet day. Not quiet, but I'm screaming and ranting all alone. So that's it for me today. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. I'm going to turn these clips into into videos. I'll put the videos up on YouTube, and then the wonderful YouTube algorithm can try and spread it to some people. So if you want to do me a favor, it would be spreading the word. Tell somebody to come by. Tell anybody on any Discord anywhere. Go watch Waldo. Leave a link to my stuff on random Discords. I mean, on my own Discord. We had people trying to scam. I blocked them eventually. Scam with Kai Cenat's name. I don't know what that was all about.
Thanks, Waldo.
I'm going to copy link address, put that in there. Yeah, we had people come in there and say, Kai Cenat, this, that, and if you click on this button, he's going to give you $1,000. You know, so you should do that for Waldo. Hide QR codes to my content in random Discords. Just be like, hey, look at this, you guys. And then people will click on it and then they'll come and listen to me. So if you want to do me a favor, you can do some guerrilla style advertisement for Waldo. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. That'll make me better, and the more people hear what I'm talking about, the more people will become informed. So thanks for coming to KVP. I love you. Thanks everybody who's here. I will be back on Wednesday. Probably. I don't have anything. Sometimes my plans don't make any sense, and sometimes I get invited to places on a Wednesday and I don't know it, and then I have to show up. So, so I don't know what I'm doing on Wednesday. Probably I will be back here streaming Wednesday night at the regular time, unless the Gestapo kicks in my door and drags me off to the gulag.